then after a year and a half, I decided to leave again, and that he found it very disappointing, and I think I disappointed him a lot. So there was a big discussion in a Buddhist organization saying, should we allow monks and novices to use phone or computer or not?
From my understanding, it's like a quiet meditation, spiritual walk, right?
Exactly.
So they're not supposed to say anything,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, and monks don't say anything, but
you've been a monk for like 10.5 years, but you left at some point,
yeah,
and then you re-entered. Like,
yeah.
Why did you do that? And how did that happen?
After almost 10 years in the temple, I decided maybe I should experience something new. Maybe I should try to live a life outside as a layman. 10 years in the day, I thought it was long enough, and that's when I decided to leave. And plus, at the time, that was not long after my sister gave me an iPad, and then I realized that, well, there are a lot out there that I need to explore and discover, and one of them is to travel. And I did a lot of research on the internet, and I found, well, maybe life outside is more interesting. That's why I decided to leave.
Okay.
And then I found a job in a hotel, and I worked there for 7 months, and I got so lost. Like I said, after for that long, you live with your fellow monks and novices like a big family, and then finally you on your own. I was very lonely, very sad. I was not very happy at all. So I decided to talk to my master, who kindly enough accepted me to go back to the temple, and he was very proud of me when I first came back, and he just talked to he told other people, the villagers, saying that he's going to be the next one. So he put a lot of expectation on me, let's put it that way.
Okay.
He thought that I'll become the next abbot after him. Yeah. And everyone was happy. And then after a year and a half, I decided to leave again, and that he found it very disappointing. And I think I disappointed him a lot, but he accepted and understand my decision that I am no longer happy to be in the temple. So yeah.
Okay, it was literally just an iPad that changed your perspective of life.
The temptation that I got from the internet.
It's incredible. Like you said, you went traveling, or you researched about traveling. Like, what was the first place then you traveled to?
Well, Wang Vieng, which is in the south of Luang Prabang.
Okay.
Actually, after I left the temple, I went to Wang Vieng and I got lost.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't find my way back to my guest house, and I hired tuk-tuk. That was the first experience to get to see something else different. After many years in the temple. But you know what? I became addicted to it, and then I started traveling more and more, and it just never stopped. So I'm quite happy with the life that I'm living now.
So I'm actually one of your followers of your YouTube channel.
Thank you.
For everyone out there as well, I will put his channel here in the eye and also in the description. So have a look, then you get a more perspective of living in Laos, not just my perspective, also local and ex-monk perspective, which is very interesting. Like, sometimes I literally learn something just from watching your channel, which is very good. Thanks for sharing your insights.
It's quite a journey from the start until now. I mean, I never thought that I would take this path at all. When I was in the temple, I was more contained. I was very conservative, let's put it that way, very shy, very reserved. But then not long after I left the temple, when I live in the reality world, you can't live like that. You have to change yourself to fit with the society. So I work in a tour company, and that's when I get to meet a lot of people from all over the world, and that also inspired me to travel as well. And the job itself has changed me a lot in a better way, I think. When I first worked at a tour company, I was very shy, very quiet, and that's not how working as customer service should be. So I got yelled a few times by my clients. So I'm like, well, I had to wake up and have to change myself. And it worked.
Okay. That's a good point, actually. Like, living in a temple and being a monk, like, what are like your key learnings? Like, what is it what you took with you, which you probably never forget for the rest of your life, and that you found helpful for the life now?
I think things that changed me to the person who I am today is the compassion. I think in the temple, like I said, I grew up in a family in an environment that is not very healthy. So I think without the temple, I would have been a different person.
Yeah.
I grew up with a lot of anger, a lot of hatred because of the way I was treated when I was young in the family, because of the people in the community, and that's why my mom sent me for good. But living in the temple for that long, I've learned a lot of, compassion and learned how to forgive. And yeah, I am the person I am today because of the temple. So that's something that I will guard for the rest of my life. And yeah.
Let's go a little bit back about life in the temple. Like for instance, right now we see here the novices cleaning the temple.
Yeah,
like
that's one of the rules.
Can you tell a little bit, just like what's like a standard or average day like of a
Right. So the daily life as a novice or monk is like I said. So we wake up at 3:30 or 4 for praying, and after that we meditate, and then we go for the alms giving ceremony. So basically, as you see every morning, that monks go collect, with their bowls on the street, go collect food from the local people. Mainly this collect sticky rice, and then the family nearby the temple bring food directly to the temple. So 1 or 2 of the monks or novices has to be in the temple to accept that, and also give them the blessing, to kind of thank you for bringing the food and stuff like that. So yeah, and then we would have meal. So monks would have meal around 6:37, depending on the season. During the winter time, it can be later at 7, and after that they would go to school because monk and novice has to study as well. We have Buddhist high school, which is outside of Luang, Prabang. And then after school they come back around 4 p.m. Today is Sunday, that's why they're all here. So after they come back from the school at 4 p.m. they have to clean the temple and then prepare for the chanting again. So evening chanting start at, depending on the temple, some temples start at 6, some temples 6:30 or 7. And it lasts
temple
for like,
at my co-working space is around 6.
And it lasts for half an hour or 1 hour, depending on during the Buddhist holiday. Can be longer. And sometimes they get invited for the house blessing ceremony, let's say, or even a funeral or wedding ceremony. So all kind of ceremony that involve the spiritual. So monks would go there. So basically, this is our role. And after that, after chanting in the evening, they can either study about the Buddha's teaching or study English or whatever.
And they do? The novices do? I mean, I see them often nowadays also on the phones, like every other teenager. So
the good thing about Buddhism that I like is that it changed, it evolved with time. Back in the day, there was some rule came out, after when the cell phone was introduced into Laos. So there was a big discussion in a Buddhist organization saying, should we allow monks and novices to use phone or computer or not? And the answer is yes, because nobody knows whether or not if they would stay in the temple for the rest of their life. So by learning to use technology is good for them. Let's say they leave the temple so they know how to use it.
Like you using an iPad.
Exactly. But don't be too how can I say, don't be too tempted that you become addicted to it and become lazy sometimes. You just don't want to do anything, just want to use your cell phone, and that's something that monks would not like it.
Would there be also like a punishment, like if like the elderly see that one of the novices are getting addicted or using the phone too much or something?
Absolutely. If that happened, the novice would get his phone taken away. That's one thing. Other thing, he would be warned for 1 time, 2 times, and the 3rd time he will be kicked out of the temple if it is too much.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, temple has tolerance. It's a place that every boy can come and join and learn to behave, and I think it's one of the best places to discipline, young boys. But then if you're out of line, it's too hard for monks to control it. Because when you live with many different people, if something like that happens, people can influence from you. So monk's job, which is the abbot's job, is trying to keep the temple, as peaceful as possible.
Keep it in balance.
Exactly. And there are many things that boys join a temple because their parents force them to do, and that's very hard for us as monks or as abbot to deal with, because did not intended to join the temple in the first place anyway, but they did it because their parents forced them to do. But once they join the temple, they don't follow the rule. They get lazy, you know.
Okay.
They bother other monks and novices, and it is very tough for us to deal with. And oftentimes they don't last very long. They break the rule, they get lazy, and then they'll be kicking out.
Okay, and then they have to go back to the families, or what do they do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Have to go back to the family. Yeah. So yeah.
So then the family is probably disappointed, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, monks would always give them chance and time to adjust and to adapt the environment, but there are always those boys who can't deal with it.
Yeah.
It's either too hard for them, especially having 2 meals per day. Sorry, I forget to mention that the second meal is at 11:30, and after that you're not supposed to eat. So that's one of the
sounds difficult. Yes.
Yeah, that's one of the hardest part that new joiner find it very challenging to live with as they get hungry.
So, and if they would just eat something secretly, like, I don't know, snack out of their pocket, would there be punishment again?
Yeah. When you get caught, that would be punishment. Like I said, after 3 times, you'll be kicked out as well. So that's the mild rule that you can break sometimes. For example, when I was a monk, I got sick a few times, right? So basically, monks or novices are not supposed to eat after noon. But when I was sick, when I was in hospital, the rule is loosened. It's like as you're sick, your body needs nutrition, so I was allowed to eat dinner. And then after I've been back to the temple, I have to reround my precept again during the full moon. So something like that can happen, and it can be forgiven.
Yeah.
But if you're just living your life, like everyday life as normal, and you just want to have dinner, then they're probably not. That won't be allowed. That means you break the rule on purpose.
One very big thing here in Luang Prabang, which also kind of became like a tourist attraction, which is mind-boggling to me, is the alms giving.
Yeah, on the main street.
Can you explain a little bit what is the meaning of the alms giving, and maybe what's also like for tourists, like what should a tourist understand about it? You know,
so
is it a tourist attraction?
Not at all. It was not for tourists at all. So the alms giving ceremony is the morning routine for monks to do. And they're supposed to do it every day. So basically, they would come out of the temple with their bowls and go, around the street, collect their food. So the donors, which is local people, would prepare the sticky rice and crackers and whatever they want to offer to the monk. And monks would walk quietly collecting the food, because after that, when they went back to the temple, that's their food for the day, for breakfast and lunch, right? But on the main street, because Luang Prabang has become tourist attraction, and then the alms giving ceremony also become one of them. And when I saw it, I was shocked. When I was a monk, I was also in the temple in town as well. It was not how it's supposed to be. It needs to be respected, but tourists treat it as a tourist attraction. And I mean, the local authority is trying to do something about it, like putting the sign on the and the up on the side of the street, saying that if you were to join the ceremony, do it respectfully. You can take picture or video, but be in a distance. But what I saw these days, especially Asian tourists, like Chinese tourists, they're way too close with the monks with their iPhone. Even go on live on TikTok and talk loudly. Monks walk quietly, and I found it very annoying because,
from my understanding, it's like a quiet meditation, spiritual walk, right?
Exactly.
So they're not supposed to say anything, right?
And monks don't say anything, but I saw it a few times. Monks kindly told them to just get out the way for a little bit, because as monks walking by, I saw some Chinese ladies, just block their road, trying to take picture in front, on the front rear to make the best photo possible, and that's so disrespectful.
Totally.
And monks told her to just get out the road, even though he's not supposed to talk.
That's actually a big step for the monk then, to actually
out of line.
To break
it's
this.
Too much, if you come to Luang Prabang, you would probably want to see it. Every morning it happened on the main street. Depending on the season, I think now it starts at 6 o'clock. So if you were to join that ceremony, if you want to take picture or video, you can do so as well, but be in a distance and don't use the flash. And if you want to offer something like crackers, sticky rice or whatever, I think it's better to go to the supermarket and buy it from there, because on the street there's some ladies, local merchants trying to sell you something,
Right.
Sticky rice or rice cracker or whatever, and many monks got sick from those food because it's being resold over and over again.
Oh.
As you can see, because every morning when monks have enough, on their bowl, they would throw it to the local people, the basket that is provided on the street, and that has also belonged to the merchants. So they resell it.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's very annoying. So they've been reselling it over and over again, and when it is too long, too many times, monks can get sick from it as well.
Okay.
So if you want to offer something, it's better to go get something in a package from grocery store, and
Okay, but you can offer anything,
anything,
because also sometimes my guests at the co-working space, they also ask me, and I always tell them, you need a little bit more than just sticky rice to live, So get them something different,
It can be cracker, fruit, or anything at all. Yeah.
So what I sometimes do, like when I have family or friends visiting, we even get them the razor blades. Because
they also need that.
they need that, or just in general toiletries, like everyday kind of things.
Yeah.
So, because I just think like, come on, how much sticky rice can you eat, just like.
Exactly.
So.
So you can offer anything. Monks would accept anything you offer anyway. So they're trying to live easy life and simple life, just to make it training from, living comfortable life. So that's all about.
Yeah. Is there anything that you, as an ex-monk, you would want foreigners to understand about the whole lifestyle of being a monk, or about Buddhism?
Yeah, what people always misunderstood about monks in general, when they saw a young boy in the orange robe, they always think that, he's probably reached that stage, that he's probably know a lot about Buddhism. It's not always true. When a boy joins a temple, it's not like the moment they put the orange robe on, boom, everything is perfect. But because they're still human being, right?
Yes.
It takes some time for them to learn to adjust to their lifestyle. And when I was a monk also, people came and asked me the big questions, about a lot of things.
About life. And,
And I'm like, well, I just joined the temple. How am I supposed to know that? So sometime when you go talk to the monk, you probably don't always get the exact answer as you think you would, and please don't be disappointed, because they're still learning as this young boy, and for them, like I said, they're human being. There are a lot of things that they know and things that you don't know. So if you don't get what you are searching for, the answer, don't be disappointed.
Okay. I would like to end this, let's don't call it an interview, just like a learning session for me and for everyone out there. Do you have like a funny anecdote, a little funny story about Buddhism or living in a monk that you could share with us?
Actually, we had many funny things that happened during my monkhood. Let's say one of the things is, when we were invited for a blessing ceremony in people's house, because there's so many scripts that we need to chant, as the way of praying. Sometimes we forgot the line and we just laugh, and everyone's laughing. So it happens sometimes. And I think one of the funniest things that I had is that when I was in my second temple, there was only me and my fellow novice, and only one monk. So 3 of us living in one temple, so we just taking care of each other. And what happened is that we supposed to woke up at 3:30 to hit the bell, right? For some reason, my alarm just didn't wake me up, so we slept throughout until 6 o'clock.
A happy day.
And for us, like, whoa, we have to sleep. But then when we woke up, we were scared already that we thought that, okay, our abbot, our master probably gonna get angry with us because we didn't wake up.
Messed up.
But then he was just as happy as we were. He's like, you had a good sleep, and that's all. So something like that could happen.
So it doesn't have to be always strict.
It's not always serious. I mean, sometimes, as we said, being serious in some situation is good, but sometimes just relax. And there are things, there's sometimes that we talk about things that we're not supposed to talk as some monks, and we just laugh it up.
Cool. Thank you so much. I think this took way longer than I thought, but I'm so happy, so grateful that you took the time to answer all of these questions and also some of the questions of my subscribers. This is very nice of you.
Sure.
And,
well, thanks for having me. I'm glad that I can share some of my experience of being a monk and a little bit about Buddhism. And I hope you learned something from me. So this is quite individual. I mean, different monks have different experience living in a temple, even though we are following the same rule.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is part of my journey and part of my experience.
Of course.
Yeah, living in a temple. So yeah, I hope you learned something from it.
Well, I definitely learned something today. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
And yeah, as I said, I will also link his channel up here and also in the video description. So have a look. And we also did another video today.
Yeah.
He interviewed me today about what it's like living in Laos as an expat. So I will also link this video here, or maybe here, I don't know, somewhere around here.
Yeah, if you go on my channel, you will see his video that we just recorded about his experience living in Prabang as an expat. So I'll include that in my channel, so don't forget to check it out.
So, and then I will see you in the next one.
Sure.
And have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.